This was about a place, an art form as far as I'm concerned, because I've always been enamored by radio. And here was a script that did all three for me. I love music. I was enamored of radio, and I like to think I'm an actor, and I get to do all three? Give me a break. This was great. So when I read that script, I really wanted this part.
Howdy, I'm Andy Travis, the new program director.
But kickbacks are wrong. Herb Charlick, sorry, got a meeting. We'll talk later, if you last that long.
Nice fellow.
One of the best. Would you like to see the big guy?
The big guy.
The skipper, the chief, the head honcho, the jerk who runs this place?
Yes, would.
He was the guy, a whiz kid guy from New Mexico, Santa Fe, New Mexico, supposedly, who comes into radio stations, turns them around, and moves on. That's what he does. So I thought, well, to be the straight man is pretty good, because I had done a lot of soap operas where I was the heavies. I was always the bad guy. As a matter of fact, Charters, Hugh Wilson's wife, said, "You can't hire that guy. He's out of his mind." So I always played the heavies, you know. So here I was going to get a chance on my first sitcom to play the straight man.
I know that I can turn this station around.
Turn it around.
Make money.
Well, in that case, Andrew, you've got a free hand from here on out, for the time being.
That's good. Where's Norris?
Out that door, down the hall to your left.
Good.
Think you're going to like it? Hey, one more thing.
Yes, sir.
These changes, they wouldn't necessitate the playing of rock and roll music, would they?
Possibly.
The through line for the Travis character was he was a whiz kid that comes in and turns stations around and leaves. This time, not only can he not turn it around in a timely fashion, but something happens where he falls in love with the people, and he doesn't want to leave. I think along the way you'll begin to see what I tried to do, which is he becomes a little nuts himself.
Andy, you're messing with fire.
Everybody gives kudos to Hugh, and he deserves it, because he was just, this guy knew from funny. And I heard Hugh once say that he got his characters from the names first. Les Nessman. That does say something, right? But I thought it was cool in watching the Paley function that I really wanted to be there. But Hugh says that, yeah, he starts off knowing what he thinks he knows, and then winds up following what the actors are giving him.
All right, Cincinnati, it is time for this town to get down. You got Johnny, Dr. Johnny Fever, and I am burning up in here.
Howard is just a genius. I mean, Howard comes from a background that's totally different from mine, you know. You got to tell me what to say and push me out there. And I make it look like I made it up. But I don't make anything up, you know. And Howard, though, comes from this improvisational background where, you know, these guys, I'm just in awe of, you know, they say, okay, you're a doctor in your emergency room and you got the, you know, something like this, but whatever it is, go. These guys can do that. Not me. So Howard, I was always enamored of Howard and his talent. He's truly a talented guy, and I'm proud to be able to say, in later life here, has become a real good guy, good friend.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry I'm late, unless I'm not. Now, perhaps I should open this meeting with a few very good ideas of my own. First, Andy, do you know what's wrong with public service?
No, Herb, no, I don't.
We don't make any money off of it.
Well, that's the whole idea, Herb. See, public service time is free time.
Can't we change that?
Of course not.
Well, then to hell with it.
Come on, Frank Bonner. There is an episode. Well, it's one of my favorite episodes. It's Less on a Ledge, and there's two storylines going on. So, in order to get Frank, the Herb, off of Jennifer's back, because he won't stop coming on to Jennifer, Johnny tells Herb that she used to be a man. When he says that, Frank Bonner get out of here. And Johnny says, okay, wait a minute. They do this thing about 4 or 5 times on that tape. It's hilarious. You mean to tell... Get out of here. Okay, wait a minute.
The beautiful Jennifer Marlowe is a result of the most cunningly successful sex change operation in
Get out of here. Oh, wait a minute.
I mean, Frank Bonner is funny. And he's a really super guy. I mean, you talk about someone that wears their heart on his sleeve.
Were you listening to Johnny as you drove in this morning?
Sure.
But he's doing bogus news reports, Andy. It's very dangerous, you know.
Well, like what?
Well, he's telling the listeners there's this thing called the Cincinnati Triangle. It's just like the Bermuda Triangle, except it runs from Cincinnati up to Dayton, over to Columbus and back. He's reporting that things have begun to disappear from the Cincinnati Triangle.
What kind of things?
Well, so far, 2 recreational vehicles and Woody Hayes.
Les, I don't think anyone in their right mind would believe that one. That's a joke.
Oh. Is it funny?
My favorite character was Les Nessman. I mean, Richard would not turn a page in a book. He knew exactly what he was doing all the time. Every moment, Richard Sanders had that mapped out. So he, as to what he created, I know he created the Band-Aid that got into that, because milliseconds before we started the pilot, he hit his head on a light backstage, gashed it open. And there was no way to disguise it. He had to put a bandage on there, so Richard, in his warped mind, takes it a step further and has a bandage somewhere all the time, you know.
Andy, my man, what's going down? What is that?
Oh, may I introduce Mr. Venus Flytrap?
Hey, little mama. I beg your pardon.
Venus is the best nighttime DJ in this country. I took the liberty of hiring him away from the station in New Orleans.
Did you have a big audience there?
The biggest.
Welcome to Cincinnati, Mr. Flytrap.
Tim Reed. I mean, come on. I used to say to everybody, Tim Reed is a class act. And check out that. He's a class act, man. Very, very, very well read, very articulate, and he says some things at the Paley that was absolutely dead right on. A lot of integrity.
Morning, Herb?
Any calls?
No.
Messages?
Nope.
Mail?
None.
Okay. How about lunch?
No lunch either.
Dinner?
Busy.
Okay. How about later at my place?
You're married, Herb.
Oh, yeah.
Lonnie is just absolutely class. There has only been 2 women in my life that all the women ask about, and that's Anne Margaret and Lonnie Anderson. All the women want to know about this woman. So that's kind of cool to be able to say.
Excuse me, Andy, am I interrupting anything important?
Oh, believe me, it's nothing important.
Well, Andy, I sort of had an idea. It's pretty bad, I bet. Probably something we shouldn't do.
Bailey.
But I read about it somewhere.
Bailey.
Yes.
What's the idea?
Well, there's a station in Atlanta that sponsors the rap race. Maybe we should do something like that.
Oh, well, actually, that's a pretty good idea, except I'm afraid the Ohio River runs a little fast. People could get killed.
Nobody said it was going to be easy.
I got together with Jan and had lunch, and she told me that she went to India for 10 years and built houses. Oh, I didn't know that, Jan, you know. But that's Jan. I mean, she does things for people. And so she was a perfect choice for Bailey. How her career came about, the way I've always heard it, is that she was on the back of a motorcycle and at the beach, and someone said, hey, or something like that, photographer, and she turned around and the hair flipped, and it was on the cover of Newsweek or Time, the American teenager. And that shot was like, it knocked everybody out and said, who is that, you know?
Yeah, hi, Jennifer, Andy. Listen, get me the two newspapers and all the TV stations in town.
What are you doing?
What we have, sir, is a genuine publicity stunt right out there in our lobby. And it's for free. Oh? Huh. Oh!
And Gordon Jump, nicest man on the face of the earth. And I had the pleasure of doing some scenes with Gordon, the one in particular, and I can't remember, it was Hoodlum Rock at a rock concert. And we have cotton in our ears, and that the timing that Gordon had of us talking when you can't hear each other, and then you take it out and then you put it back.
You ready to go?
What?
Huh?
You ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
When we first started the series, Gordon and I did everything that CBS ever wanted us to do. We went everywhere. We promoted that show all over the place. We were always on planes. And it's hard to explain, and it was a very touching moment, but Gordon just turned and just stuck out his hand. And we just shook hands, and it was, I don't know, it was his moment. It was, he was a beautiful person.
You just get comfortable there and then give me the big picture.
Big picture.
Yeah, you know, give me the rundown, your view from the top. Yeah, I mean, you're my right arm, man. What's happening out there in the field?
Oh, you mean how's business?
Yeah, just, you know, shoot it to me straight, hotshot.
Well, everything's fine.
Oh, listen, I get that answer from everybody around here. Oh, no problem. What's really going on, Travis?
Nothing.
Well, I don't like it. It's too quiet.
I always thought it was weird that you would come in on a Friday and shoot two shows in front of a live audience. Hugh would come out, you know, they had a warm-up guy, and then Hugh would come out and he'd say, ladies and gentlemen, you know, here are the cast members, say hello to the cast members, like that. All right, let's start shooting. And the 500 people or 400, whatever it was in that audience, they were stoked. And what you hear is what really happened. And inevitably, you'd make the same mistake in both shows, whatever it was, and then they would have pickups, and then you'd be there till the wee hours of the morning with pickups. Well, we only did about 3 or 4 or 5 like that. There was a way we shot without an audience, and then we'd just do one in front of the audience. So we wound up doing that. So what we do is we come in on Friday in front of, get into makeup, and then we'd go in front of the cameras, go scene by scene, not move on until you had it clean in the can the way you wanted it. And so slowly throughout the day on Friday, we'd put the thing in the can. You were better rehearsed than ever before because you didn't move on until you had it the way you wanted it. And then Full Tilt Boogie, we would do it in front of an audience at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, what it was. If there was 5% of something that went wrong, you already had it in the can. There was no pickups. So at 8:30 or 9 o'clock, we'd go home.
Well, au reservoir, Neffman.
Oh, bye, Herb.
I tell you what, I'll be thinking of you poor working stiffs while I'm whooping it up in Akron, okay? No, oh! What is that?
I think whooping is against the law in Akron.
Frank turned out to be like a fabulous director, you know. 3 or 4 of the episodes towards the end of the series that were best for the Travis character was directed by Frank Bonner.
The lady was nice enough to take time out of her busy schedule to come over here and be interviewed by you. You grilled her like she was Adolf Eichmann. Why?
Because I play hardball, Travis. Mike Wallace does it, I do it.
Well, I want you to stop it. It's wrong, Les. You're doing wrong.
Well, I could say the very same thing about you.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, I wouldn't want to say it in front of Venus.
Well, don't worry about Venus. You tell me, what am I doing that's so wrong?
No, I can't.
Go ahead, Les. I want to know.
No.
Les.
No.
Les!
All right. You are dating Mr. Carlson's mother.
What?
Talking about directors, what's not to like about Jay Sandridge? He's a famous guy, and he added this class to the fact that he was directing W.K.R.P. It was particularly good for me. Jay really helped me out because of the, you know, him directing the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and this was essentially kind of a Mary-ish character, to give me a few pointers about what to do and what not to do in that pilot. I was saddened that he didn't continue. I don't know why he didn't, but thank goodness for Assad Collada and Rod Daniels.
I'd do anything to get this account.
Maybe the day will come when I will ask you to return the favor.
Of course. Thank you.
Every line is funny. Every line has to be funny. And you got like 15 people in the show, and they're all coming in and out, and they have like, 10 seconds of something, and then they move on. And, we would work a whole entire scene for the possibility of a big boffo laugh at the very end. And that was the writing, and that was Hugh and these guys, and trusting that we could make their words work. And I think we succeeded at that.
Then Mr. Carlson had the helicopter land in the middle of the parking lot. I guess he thought he could save the day by turning the rest of the turkeys loose. Gets pretty strange after that.
Yeah, right. No, Les, come on now, tell us the rest.
I really don't know how to describe it. It was like the turkeys mounted a counterattack. It was almost as if they were organized.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
When we talk about how funny the show is written and things like that, one of the things that just slayed me was even the stage directions and some of the scripts were funny. The one that I can't get over, I just thought this was great. It was a Scum of the Earth, this rock group that comes, right? And so they have the sign that says, "Welcome, Scum." So the stage direction says, "Scum enters." That's funny enough right there, as far as I'm concerned. It says, "They are dressed in 3-piece suits. They carry briefcases. They are so weird, they are straight." Come on.
Hello, we're the scum of the earth.
No.
Yes.
Huh? Hi. Hey, listen, Dr. Fever, this is marvelous. These guys are wonderful. Coats and ties, the whole... Welcome aboard, fellas.
Thank you very much, sir.
Are you sure you're scum?
Positive. Well, of course they are.
Where is Mr. Peavy?
He got out of the car. That's actually the last we saw of him, I think.
Was the car moving when he got out?
Yes, I believe it was.
They hired 2 Canadian guys that came in towards the end, Torquevay and Campman, who was instrumental in I think, helping my character out a little bit in that, if nothing else, they got me out of tight jeans and said, come on, loosen your clothes up a little bit and everything. Another good thing that was good for my character was KNX-FM. It was the biggest station in town, and we were just starting the series. And so I called and asked if I could talk to the program director. So I went over and hung out at KNX, and Steve, the program director, program director, told me all the ins and outs of the radio stuff and what would happen and what wouldn't happen and blah, blah, blah. And he says, hey, I got a script. So he submitted this script, they dug it, and he quit his job and came over and was on the writing staff. So we had a real program director on the writing staff who would say, that wouldn't happen, that wouldn't happen. That was great.
As tensions increase over the
That's
common
Bailey.
market and American
I haven't got time
energy
for jokes.
supplies. Domestically and internationally, oil remains the #1 concern.
Oil schmoil. Give me a break.
Wait a minute, she's pretty good. I like her.
Bailey?
Sure, Les Bailey. Why not?
Now, wait a minute, Travis. She's young and inexperienced, and she's a
what?
A woman.
A woman, Les? Les, there are thousands of stations in this country with women on the air.
As disc jockeys, yes. But this is news, Travis. News. Important stuff.
Les, what about Barbara Walters?
And then Dan Gunselman and Alyssa Levin, who wound up getting married, he was from Ohio. So he knew stuff. He knew that there was a Wapakoneta. Who knows that there's a Wapakoneta and that we should have that name in the script? So Hugh was very smart in having people around that were the right people for the job, you know.
That's Les Nessman, and I'm Jennifer Marlowe.
Sparky Anderson.
I know. I just adore you. I went to every Reds home game until you left.
Box 110, row 6, seat 8.
That's my seat. How amazing.
I almost broke my neck trying to see you.
I'm a huge baseball fan. I'm from Dayton, Ohio. My dad took me to the Reds games all my entire life. So here I am at the very time of the Big Red Machine. I'm Grand Marshal of the opening day parade. I throw out the baseball and stuff like this, you know. It's unbelievable. And Sparky Anderson comes on the show. Man, I was in heaven. And I said to him once, come on, let's run those lines. He said, yeah, sure. I'd pass him in the hallway. Hey, Sparky, let's run the lines. Okay. Hey, Sparky, let's run the lines. Okay. What? How many times are we going to run these lines? I said, listen, let me just tell you something. It's the last game of the World Series. It's the bottom of the 9th inning. And you're coming up to bat. Are you going to think about how to swing the bat? You're just going to hit the ball, right? Yeah. I said, Friday night, whether you know it or not, there's a live audience out there. You're going to be nervous. Let's run the lines, he said. You're right. So that was a big thrill. Yeah.
Sparky, we're about set up for your show. If you follow me, we have some details to discuss.
Fine, your office or mine?
Well, until we get you your office, I was going to say that my office is your office.
I appreciate that, Andy.
Yeah, so do I, Travis, but I want Sparky to have my office.
Hell, Art, you don't have to do that.
Listen, Sparky, this is my team. I call the shots here, okay?
Sparky, Mr. Carlson been telling you you've always wanted to do a radio show like this.
Not really.
Yeah, but you've had a lot of experience in broadcasting.
Not really, but Art says you don't have to know anything about this business.
No, not really.
Let's go to my office and get some work done. Hey, where is it?
People that just absolutely love that show. And I hear it all the time from people in radio saying, I'm in radio because of that show or because I was enamored of what a program director might do. Countless. And a lot of times it's very complimentary because some of these people are some of the best in the business. So that's cool.
You got the Doctor on the mighty K.R.P. Coming up next from 1965, it's Junior Walker and the All-Star Shotgun kicking off another 20 commercial-free minutes of rock and roll right after this.
Hi, this is Venus Flytrap.
I don't mind talking about this show at all because it is a golden classic class act show that is sincerely funny. For anybody that's never seen it, and I would say to people, listen, you watch it like 3 episodes. You'll be hooked because it's funny. So that answers it right there. I'm extremely proud to have been a part of the show and to have worked with the people that I got the chance to work with.